evening, welcome to episode 9 of the BrewGooders dynamic duo of comics and beer. Beer and comics, it's the B then C.
Is it?
Yeah, beer and comics.
I remember.
So we're going to review, so week 9 we decided to do film themed beers.
And that was because quite a few had appeared in our local
Yeah, we noticed that,
shop.
And actually what I noticed, because I remember saying to Colin from the Caledonia Craft Beer Merchant, you must have at least, particularly like Arbor that we're reviewing tonight. They a lot of beers in general are kind of play on words, and they have like, you know, they'll try and stick a beery kind of word into sort of an established phrase anyway.
It might be a song lyric or something.
Absolutely,
turned into a beer.
Yeah, so Beef Brewing did that, I think, quite a lot.
So
but we actually when we stopped and thought about it, and I spent a wee bit of time yesterday in the Caledonian Craft Beer Merchant. Yeah. There was more than you thought, and actually, that might not be that's a reference to a film. It might not have a film title in it. But yeah, it was quite funny actually. So the four we picked quite randomly.
Yeah, so quick rundown: we have Juice Campbell and the Army of Darkness.
I double checked this. It's the Army of Dankness.
Oh, Dankness.
I don't know what Dankness is. My kids at my school often talk about dank things.
Yeah, indeed. Okay.
That's Dankness. By Brew York. It's the brewer for that.
And then what we got? Amity, which is who's that?
Gypsy Hill.
Yeah.
It was also the can that I think kind of inspired. That was the one I saw on the Facebook page and thought.
I wonder if there's more. Yeah, and there certainly were, including this one from ShinDigger called Mango Unchained.
That's amazing. I'm excited about this one. I like the mangoes.
To see what that is. And then we were going to do Outlaw King from Lochleven Brewery, but we've had a last minute change of plan because this came into the shop and we had to do this, which was
Arbor's
Shaun of the Red.
Yeah.
You've got a bit of red on you.
Yeah. Also notice it's a different. The spelling of Sean's different than Shaun of the Dead.
It's not the H. Yeah, I did notice that. I'm a bit of a Shaun of the Dead fan.
I love it.
I've watched it about 20 times. It's probably actually after Jaws and Star Wars Episode 4, the third most watched movie of mine.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen Hot Fuzz more than I've seen Shaun of the Dead. I prefer Hot Fuzz. I don't know if it's just the kind of films I grew up watching.
Are we which one are we cracking open first?
Yeah.
Oh, we do. Are we going to introduce comics?
Okay. Talking about I just found out that Nimona. I got Colin lent this to me, so I'm cheating a wee bit because he read this ages ago, I think. But it is cracking, and I believe it's going to be a film next year.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be good.
Maybe animated film.
Yeah.
So that's Nimona by Noel Stevenson, and much to Colin's disgust, I think the Mighty Morphin Power Ranger comics are freaking amazing. A really cool series that's just finished an arc. So I thought that's a good time. I've been wanting to review this since we started the podcast.
I can't wait. I'm going back in time to the 90s and reviewing Grant Morrison's run on Doom Patrol, and brand new comic just out this week, or at least the trade, is Friendo, written by Alex Pignero. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at this week. So beer, which one first?
You pick.
Right, okay, at random, it's Juice Campbell.
So this is our
and versus the Army of Dankness.
I love remember, I absolutely adore Evil Dead 2. Evil Dead 2, I think, is possibly one of my favourite films.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good movie, yeah. I have never seen Army of Darkness.
Army of Darkness is okay, but
I'll have to say.
There's
okay, sorry, there was a massive head on that.
Okay, so it's by Brew York.
Yeah.
It's a New England IPA. The thing, fruit juice is the sort of
for
theme
sure, definitely. Well, Juice Campbell, we're certainly getting a fruity juice and a big head on it. Wow, what a fizz!
Oh, the fruit comes through there as well. Dry, but oh, that's funky.
It's got an unusual little aftertaste in it.
The word that gets, I look at Untapped quite a lot, and the word that keeps coming up in the reviews for this is obviously groovy, as a reference to Bruce Campbell's whole thing. No, it's really juicy, really juicy.
It's got a lot of flavour in there, citrusy, lemony, limey kind of.
It was funny. It's got quite a good review overall on Untapped, but when I read the reviews, it was quite controversial in terms of like some people love it and other people are mildly disappointed. Also, the tagline obviously is that a line. There's a really awesome bit in Army of Darkness right at the beginning where he Bruce Campbell's character Ash finds himself back in time in the Middle Ages, but he's armed with a chainsaw and a shotgun.
That's right. Yeah.
So he addresses a crowd. He's like, "All right, you primitive screwheads," and then that whole very well known and well loved speech is actually printed on the back of the can with some of the words subtly changed to reference the beer.
7.1%.
Yeah, it's quite strong.
Yeah, I'm getting a wee bit of that, that alcohol flavour, mainly in the aftertaste, but it's very pleasant to just.
I was expecting that to. I guess juicy was the thing that I kept hearing. It was
for sure. I'm liking that a lot.
I didn't think that was going. I thought that was going to be a wee bit more punchy in the juiciness. And I thought, but I enjoy it because it's not. I was expecting that to be a bit more sour.
I've had other beers that are quite similar. I would say I've drunk a lot of beers that have got a similar flavour, so it's not massively stand out, but it's very pleasant. Yeah, I like that one.
That massive head wasn't a big issue either. That was
no.
Thoroughly great start to the
good,
beers.
Good one, yeah, for sure. Right.
You pick a comic. What comic?
I'm going to go for the comic, right? Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, I'm going to do Doom Patrol. I've only got a photo of it because I got this from my local library and I had to take it back.
I think I borrowed this last year, and it's probably the exact same, because we go to the same library. I think it's probably the exact same copy.
It probably is, yeah. I think it's only been taken out by about 2 people.
Yeah.
That'll be you and me. So, the craziest superhero story ever told is how it's billed. I picked this up because I've never read Doom Patrol, and because it's a TV series as well,
totally.
which I started watching as well, but only after I'd read quite a bit of this book. So this is Grant Morrison's run from about the 90s, but it's been Doom Patrol's been around since the 60s, which I was surprised to hear. So the characters have changed quite a lot, but Robot Man is the one character that kind of is there all the time. So this is really kind of wacky.
Yeah, really wacky.
It really is. I mean, they're not really superheroes. The people who've been through massive traumas and have somehow ended up with a power, and get pulled together by a sort of doctor professor guy called Niles Calder, and he eventually kind of turns them into a kind of superhero group. And it's clear there's been kind of earlier iterations of this group as well.
Yeah, there's quite a high death count, is that right? Is that one of the Doom Patrol's kind of...
it seems to be the case, yes. Yeah, they don't live so long. But interestingly, the Grant Morrison run here covers some of the stories that's in the TV show.
Yeah. The multiple personality character she's Grant Morrison creation, isn't she?
I think so, yeah. Crazy Jane.
Yeah.
So let me tell us a wee bit about some of the characters first of all. So there's Robot Man. He's a race car driver that has a smash in his car and his body is destroyed, and Niles Calder, the professor type guy, a bit like Professor X really, takes his brain and transplants it into a robot body, so he's powerful, he's kind of can take a lot of damage and stuff. There's Crazy Jane, who has 60 odd different personalities, each with its own superpower, but she can't really control all of them, and when they come out, and some are hidden, and some come out at the wrong time. We've got Regis, who's in the comic book, but he's known as Larry in the TV show. So he's the guy with the bandages and the dark shades.
Negative Man, is that his name?
Negative Man, yeah. So what he's about is he was a test pilot who goes up to space and gets kind of taken over by this energy force, this sort of being that's just made of energy, and that inhabits him. And kind of comes out and has powers, can do stuff. It's different from the comic book. The comic book, it's actually 3 characters. It's the guy, a woman, and this force that join together.
I found, I read Doom Patrol a wee bit, and I found the Negative Man or Regis. I found that really tricky to get my head around. I couldn't quite work out what was going on. I found that,
for sure. It was very odd, and also the main bad guy, Mr. Nobody's kind of weird as well, and I don't really know his origin story yet, but he's a sort of character that kind of almost exists just in 2 dimensions.
Yeah.
And he has a head that's kind of shaped like a question mark. It's a little bit different in the TV show where they've made him more 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
He has a face and things. But bizarrely, Negative Man sorry, not Negative Man, Mr. Nobody is the narrator of both the comic book and the TV show.
Really?
So the bad guy narrates the story in his kind of weird evil
Grant
voice.
Morrison just loves doing random.
It is totally random.
If I can't remember if I read it from that compendium or I just picked it up from another story, but I think Grant Morrison was responsible for creating a character who is like Robbie the Road, and it's like a sentient street.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
There's I remember that from Doom Patrol. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I remember having during Titans, there's an episode of Titans called Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
And I remember geeking out a wee bit when they talked about the fact that the police were investigating a disturbance on Robert Road, and I was like, oh, that's a reference to it. But yeah, if I remember it correctly, it's like a sentient street that it uses street signs and movement of the way the street is shaped and like where the roads go as his means of communication. Just totally bizarre.
It totally
and
is.
Like unnecessarily bizarre.
The characters themselves are really bizarre, but the situations that they get themselves into, considering this is part of the bigger DC universe, is completely unlike anything you've seen any other superhero come up against. Bizarre, weird kind of dimensions that they go to. Weird bad guys, the scissor men, guys with scissor hands that chase them around and can cut through things, and really weird. It's hard to describe, really. It's
which is why you should check it out, because I enjoyed it. I found it a bit too heavy at times.
I think so too.
Grant Morrison is known for that.
Hard going at times, and I had to really kind of just stick with it. The TV show, if you haven't seen it, is quite wacky and stuff weird as well, and contains a lot of the stuff in the comic book. It's maybe a little more grounded, perhaps, just to appeal to a slightly wider audience that maybe aren't ready for it yet. Okay.
I did.
So that's
excellent.
Doom Patrol.
Do you want to fire through another beer? Or?
I haven't even finished this one, but yeah, crack open something. Let's go for
it. You said, we'll do Amity. You said Jaws is one of your favourite films, did you say? So Amity by Gipsy Hill Brewing Company.
I'll be honest, I think Jaws, I still jump at that bit where the head falls out of the bottom of the boat.
Oh yeah?
I still jump every time I see it. I know it's coming, but then, But I really like Jaws. I think it definitely is one of my favourite movies.
I do enjoy. I don't know if it's one of my favourites, but certainly, I think shows you how good Spielberg was actually, and the master of. I think he
great bit of storytelling. I think.
Yeah, and just being able to. Obviously, there's the notoriousness behind the production where the robotic shark didn't work, and one of the key reasons you don't see as much as the shark is intended initially was because it was so rubbish and it looked quite rubbish.
Yeah.
If you kept it on camera for too long, but then I think with Jaws being one of the most dynamic and exciting things about the shark is just how little of it you do see and how
you don't have to have the
John Williams' score ends up becoming part of the character. It's great.
So Amity.
I want to know why it inspired the why. Yeah.
Why? I don't know.
Yeah, it's a New England style IPA.
Yeah, it's actually getting similar aroma to the previous beer. Not as strong. Maybe I'm getting a kind of peachy smell, citrusy peach smell to that.
Yeah, peach is in there.
Tastes a little bit different.
It's really thick. Kind of mixed fruit as well, actually. Much more like a more, I don't know.
So this is fruit. What, 6%?
6%. It's strong, not as strong. Cause
yeah,
it's maybe
I'm not getting the quite the strength as the previous one.
Vermont yeast, stone fruit peach.
Yeah, it's not as powerful a flavour either.
And it's not as punchy, but I'm left with a more variety of fruit on the tongue.
Yeah, I think so. A more subtle but interesting flavour, perhaps.
Yeah, that's strange because it is quite similar to the Army of Darkness run. They're both
Yeah.
they are both New England IPAs.
Yeah,
in fairness.
and yeah, it's got that
Fruity.
characteristic
Yeah.
of that type of beer for sure. Yeah, I'm enjoying it. Okay.
Yeah, it's sort of light, but it's settling a wee bit. The taste is settling. There's no bitterness afterwards.
Yeah.
Maybe slight.
Yeah.
Just that sort of dynamic amount. That the dynamic variety of fruit is quite exciting, actually.
Yeah, the subtleness of it doesn't need to be punchy at all. So, what comic you got?
Right, I'm going to fire through it very quickly because I know that you're like so.
Right,
You're
okay.
so.
Wake me up.
Yeah. Okay, so Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is by Boom Studios. There's loads of things I like about it, but I'm just going to punch it. So they've just finished their arc, and which is quite characteristic of Power Rangers as a TV series. Actually, Power Rangers is known for shuffling its creative team and shuffling its gimmick around every year or so, and that's kind of been reflected in the comics somewhat. So I grabbed that one because that was a good series, but the last two arcs that started the last Easter, it was Shattered Grid and Beyond the Grid. Shattered Grid was a really cool series that celebrated the 25th anniversary of Power Rangers. I just wanted to, as a result of the events of this, we were left with quite a bizarre series called Beyond the Grid, which so Shattered Grid was massive, and it was like kind of universe-ending kind of stuff within the Power Rangers universe. And as one of the results of the series was that 6 members, or 6 randomly collected Rangers from previous series, found themselves in this lost, cut off reality that wasn't part of the main Power Rangers universe. And it's cut off with the morphing grid, which in the comic series is sort of sold to the reader as a source of power for all Power Rangers, and they find themselves stuck in this reality that has no backup energy because the morphing grid isn't there, and they're having to rely on sort of staggered, limited use of their powers to get themselves out of situations until they meet certain characters and there's an unfold of a villain and MacGuffins that allow them to develop slightly. But it was just really, what I love about Power Rangers is the series is I feel like it's been written by loads of different creative teams, and I think we're on like creative team 5 by the end of episode 30, issue 39. But I feel like it's written by fans, maybe guys my age, slightly older. I know Marguerite Bennett she's just finished her run. She did a so we talked about her a couple of weeks ago doing an Animosity Tales, but she's just finished like an 8 issue run, but it feels like she's got a lot of love for what's going on, and the character development of characters that I remember as a kid, and she's taken them and gone, right, well, what would happen if so and so interacted with so and so, and we can talk about race, and we can talk about betrayal, and we can talk about we talk about love, and these are things that kind of got glossed over in the TV series.
These
because
don't sound like the Power Rangers.
Yeah, exactly. They're always glossed over because in the TV series you had 22 minutes to introduce a baddie, get the big giant robot on. Yeah,
kind of a lot. That's kind of Power Rangers.
That's kind of reflective in them. There's a lot of kind of that sort of semi-sarcastic, like really stupid dialogue. That's like there was not stupid, campy dialogue I want to use. I like the dialogue, but there's some the art's really good. I think the art's really dynamic. They have to reflect that kind of fast-paced action that you get in quite a lot of the Power Ranger stuff. It's just kind of big brand bits of art. The art was done by Simone DeMio, which I think this is a Power Ranger series, which I think is predominantly. When I remember Power Rangers, girls didn't watch Power Rangers. We were.
Let's show some of the art.
Yeah, I think the art was really good.
Colourful.
A lot happening, a lot of action lines and
a lot
swishes
of kind of big lights and beams of light and things. Yeah.
I do think it's quite interesting. I said they have a Power Ranger series. It was coloured by Walter Beaumont or Beaumont, but it was written and drawn by 2 women. So this is a series that was predominantly aimed at adolescent, sort of pre-teen boys.
Yeah.
In the 90s, and it's growing at some. It's got that kind of kiddie art to some of it that we've talked about
Yeah.
in the past, but no, just generally alright. So it's nice team, a nice writing team, fast paced, some interesting character work, and left a total amazing cliffhanger at the end of 39. If what I understand is they left a cliffhanger that they're not going to address, at least for the next 10 issues. Ooh. So we've got about a year. Again, like I say, there's this renewal that happens in Power Rangers TV series every year or so, and it's reflected in the comics. So we've fallen in love over a series of time with 6 randomly assorted Power Rangers, who then become a team in their own right, despite the fact that they're members of other teams who have just been thrown together. And then they've just formed this amazing team. They're working together, and then the situation end at issue 39 leaves them at a mad crossroads that they're not going to address, because they're going to move on to the next series, starting with issue 40, which is quite cool. At the end of it, I was like, I'm not sure I'm ready to just leave these characters, and that I don't know if that's put me off at issue 40 or not. I'm going to give it a go and see actually where we're going to go with this series. Yeah. Overall, as I say, I think it's just really, really well written, and I'm quite sad. Again, I suppose the gimmick is that they switch writing and artist teams every 10 or so issues. Yeah. And I've really liked this team, but then I really like the Shattered Grid team as well.
I'm wondering if the fans of Power Rangers comics anyway are quite loyal, and will stick it out. No matter what happens.
I think so. Like I'm quite loyal to it. Little Shop of Heroes have been really, really awesome with me as a fan though as well. I think I'm the only one that actually collects this, but they've been able to source quite a few back issues for me, and the trade paperbacks I've got the trade. There's only a couple of trade paperbacks out at the moment, but they've been able to source them for me as well. So I don't know if loyal Power Ranger fans like myself are doing it, then I imagine that's quite a. So it's quite interesting because it is marketed as Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in the comics, which doesn't seem like a big deal, but they're not owned by Saban anymore in mainstream media. I think it's Hasbro that have them now. So I don't know if that'll be reflected in future issues as well. But it's cool. Overall, cool comic, and one that I think people should check out.
Okie doke. So, about time to fire on to another beer. What are we going for? Which one do you fancy, Jeff?
We'll go for Mango Unchained.
Mango Unchained from ShinDigger. So,
have you seen Django Unchained?
I've seen Django Unchained, which is pretty brutal Western.
Such a random film. I don't know if it was just. I don't know what grabbed them to. It's not just use of the mango. Can we make a play on words with the word mango? One of my favourite scenes, and probably one of my favourite scenes in all cinema, is in Mango Unchained, though, and I understand it was done by accident. Have you seen do you know the story of the glass in that film?
No.
It's a really awesome scene where Leonardo DiCaprio's character slams his hand on the table, cuts his hand on the glass. Apparently that was completely unscripted. He did that for real.
Oh.
And then continued the scene as planned, but with a gory hand.
Just like if we were to do the same here with our glasses, we just continue with the podcast until we're completely drunk and can't feel the pain.
Well, really fruity again. That's 3 mashed.
Yeah. Okay, not as powerful an aroma as the previous ones, but similar kind of smell.
One of the reviews I saw of this said this is if Rubicon made beer, is what this smells and tastes like. So it's been ShinDigger Brewing, who are Manchester based, Greater Manchester.
I'm not personally getting a lot of fruit in the taste. Mango and pineapple supposedly, but I'm really not getting that too much at all.
Yeah.
We've stepped down on the taste level.
Yeah, I'm not digging that.
You know,
that was probably the one.
The Juice Campbell had a lot of flavour. Then we stepped down to Amity, and this one, sounds as though it should just have that bit more.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's fine. It's nice beer, but I was expecting more from it. I don't know if
it's not as exciting.
It's a subjective opinion, but not
a lot of bitterness about it either. It's quite a refreshing wee beer.
It smells really juicy, and then that's not reflected in the taste.
Yeah, it's tasting a bit ordinary. Okay, it'd be a little bit disappointing, but hey, it's a perfectly nice beer for drinking.
Just not as expected.
Just doesn't. I'm not getting lots of mango being unchained, and it doesn't live up to the movie it's named after.
Imagine if I was drinking. I could drink a couple. I mean, it's 4.2%.
Yeah, I could just drink that.
I could drink that with 2 or 3 cans and just sit and chill with that.
Be quite fine. Yeah.
It's kind of been smashed in taste by what we've previously.
Yeah, for sure.
But no, I would like to try some more ShinDigger, and they've got quite a large presence in our local beer shop, so, and they're a well thought out brewery.
For sure. Okay, pleasant enough. So let's move on to the next comic then.
I'm going to stop this if that's alright, and then... Yeah, so what was your second?
So second comic is Friendo, which is just out this week in the collected edition. So the series ran for a number of months, and it's a hard one to categorise. I suppose it's science fiction. If anybody watches or has watched the TV show Black Mirror, which is kind of like slightly in the future and about technology and its kind of effects on people, this is kind of where that's at. So what is Friendo? So Friendo is a virtual character that's your friend.
Okay.
And you can get this with your glasses, a special set of glasses where you can see your character, your friendo, and it's kind of, you answer some questions and it creates this character for you, so you have your kind of unique character. And just like kind of most modern bits of software, there's 2 versions. There's the paid for version, where you get all the premium features and you pay a lot of money, every month or whatever to have that. Or you can get the free version, which has lots of adverts. So anyway, the main character in this, who I won't describe as a hero, is definitely a sort of antagonist type character. Leo gets a gift of these glasses from his girlfriend. He's a bit down on his luck, he's kind of struggling to get work and things, and he gets given a set of these glasses, and because he can't afford it, he has to go for the free option. And of course, when the character is created, he's constantly trying to sell him stuff, he's trying to persuade him, say, hey, there's a great restaurant just nearby, I can get you 10% off, or, hey, don't you think this pair of shorts will look great on you, sort of thing, or, hey, we could go for a manicure, there's a manicure just down this street, so he's constantly trying to sell him things.
That's pretty cool, sorry to cut you off, that's I like the idea, it's just watching that.
Yeah, this is the building of the avatar,
like asking the questions
of the friendo. So you're seeing the kind of view through the glasses, and he's getting asked the questions, and he's building his avatar step by step.
His avatar gets built based on the responses given. That's really cool.
Yeah. So his friendo gets built, and he keeps cropping up throughout his life, and there's a bit of an accident happens, and there's. His friendo gets damaged, and it loses a bit of its programming, which is its ethical kind of part, so it stops being ethical, right, and giving him kind of bad advice, really. But also what happens is it saves his life, because he gets mugged. So Leo, the main character, gets mugged, and he's pretty much dying on the streets. Nobody's there to help him, and his friendo, calls an ambulance, saves his life. So he feels emotionally connected to this friendo, a piece of software, and he's become addicted to it, really. So it's kind of like being addicted to your Facebook or something like that. Very much reflective of that. And to the extent where he's taking lots of advice from friendo who has no ethics now because of this problem, and we discover that.
Is he aware of the problem? Or is
not really, no. But the company that built Friendo is aware of it. They're aware that there is one person, one of their friendos out there that is malfunctioning, but they're really interested to know what happens.
What could happen with that malfunction. Okay.
The other thing, part of the story, is that there is a new law, a new worldwide law. So basically, big corporations have gotten so powerful that they can effectively, create new laws or persuade governments to create new laws. So there's this new law that basically the world is a marketing, promotional, safe haven. Anybody can market anywhere. Privacy laws, are stripped away. So there's no privacy. There's little flying cameras around everywhere watching people, and all this kind of thing. So these two things kind of combine is anarchic Friendo, and this kind of new law, and it takes Leo down this path where he's just going to get into a lot of danger very quickly. I'm not going to say much more than that.
It's just very kind of Black Mirror.
It is very Black Mirror. That's kind of what I got from it. And I really wasn't sure about this at all when I first picked up. I'd heard about it. I had a lot of people writing about it and saying it was really good. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really get what it was going to be about. I didn't really understand it until I started reading it.
Yeah. Who's it by?
So Alex Pugnado is the writer. And Alex has done stuff like Doctor Who and Assassin's Creed, and he's quite a kind of becoming quite a prolific writer now. Martin Simmons is the main artist on this. Martin did the only other comic I know that he did, or no, I think he's done two recent ones. Punk's Not Dead is one, which is in the Black Crown. Black Crown.
I've seen it getting posted.
And he also did Death Sentence, I think, or some of the Death Sentence books with Monte Nero as well. So he's certainly somebody I know of. Deaconess, the colourist on that. So you've seen this kind of beautiful colouring. I think he's also been doing Paper Girls recently. So I've not quite finished this yet. I've still got kind of the last episode to go, and I'm really intrigued to see where it goes, and interested if there's going to be a kind of follow up to this or not, because the main character just seems set on this really bad path, and it is really kind of reflective of current society.
Has it got its tongue in its cheek, or is it a very serious comic?
No, it's quite serious. Yeah, it's quite serious. There's quite a lot of violence and things happening in it. There's the uncaring big corporations that just want to make money. There's this kind of social media thing, and the main character, becomes a kind of social media star because people can see what he's doing, and they follow him, and he's got a big following, and that's made a company more prosperous because people are buying from them and things. So you can kind of see where it is, where real life could go this week,
of course,
in a few years' time.
That's and again that parallel with Black Mirror. That's kind of that's the whole thing. It's it's not completely unseeable.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. I love Black Mirror, and it's a really I've not seen a lot of the newer stuff, to be honest, but I know that it's quite an influential series, but. Charlie Brooker wrote it as a kind of response to what was going on in society at the time he started writing it. And it's interesting that we've almost now kind of come full circle in that he was influenced to almost create a warning about what's going on now. People are kind of following on from that because of the influential nature of what he's been trying to do. So
I don't know if that's been an influence for Alex writing that or not.
It'd be interesting to find out.
Could be.
It's also you're saying like he's written for Doctor Who a wee bit as well.
Yeah, he's done Doctor Who for quite a few.
Because they can do the kind of futuristic morality tales that kind of reoccur in that series as well. So
I suppose so.
That sounds amazing. That's
it's really good, and you'll get a loan of it once I've finished it.
We're on our last beer.
Oh yeah, right? We are on Shaun of the Red.
This was our late substitute. We were going to do a Lochleven brewery beer.
So apologies to Lochleven, we're not doing
it. We will revisit it. We'll probably do some other themed. I want to do I mentioned to Colin earlier in the week. I want to try and do something around about the Women's World Cup. So maybe Scottish beers, Lochleven can
representing Scotland.
Possibly.
Scotland. Yeah, why not?
It's a much darker colour than every beer.
Sure is. Everything else has been really light.
So this is an American red ale by Shaun of the Red. Called Shaun of the Red, sorry, by Arbor. So it comes in these wonderful pint cans that Arbor make sure they do.
And we've always liked the Arbor stuff. I think that we've reviewed.
And we have. What was interesting, I was reading this is I was reading like the ingredients of this, and and it's full. It's a clash. It's quite a mad clash actually.
It's quite much more hoppy, I would have said.
So English and German malts and American and Australian hops. It's very hoppy.
Yeah.
But there is that malt.
Maybe a slight more bitterness than the previous.
Yeah, there is that bitterness that you would get with a malt. I can almost chocolatey. I don't know, not chocolate. Toffee maybe.
Wouldn't have said it's as fruity as I thought it might have been. Not as fruity as the previous ones, anyway.
Reminds me of. It is much more maltier. It's much more as I say, like biscuit kind of toffee. It's kind of what I'm getting from it. Like
yeah.
That maltiness is much more.
If it didn't have that wee bitterness at the end, it would be quite like a Scottish ale, I think. But
and there is a very. There's it's like a, is it like a red currant or a black currant? There's a wee punchy flavour just there. It's quite subtle, but
yeah, there's a slight fruitiness. I wouldn't say it was particularly strong.
I don't know what to make of that.
It's not as exciting as the previous beers. It's okay, you know. It's not unpleasant.
Well, I've noticed we talked about this. I don't know if we talked about this on camera or off camera, but obviously, the last couple of times we've had a porter or something quite malty. That's been leaning into my beer of the week. So we had the live show that we did last week. I was totally into all the darker beers we had, which I never used to be. And sometimes these darker ales, they're not exciting in the same way that you're not like, oh, there's this fruit and there's that fruit. It's punchy. But I think that's really nice. It's really pleasant, actually.
It's something we'll have to do as a future theme is darker beers.
Because it's a different drinking experience.
It sure is, yeah.
I really like that. But it's much more subtle when it's fighting against Juice Campbell.
Yeah, I think so.
They'd be fighting side by side, in fairness, in a normal Juice Campbell and Shaun of the Dead would be on the same side, presumably during an undead crisis.
I guess probably would be, yeah. So yeah, I wonder who's going to win this week. Is Django going to outgun Jaws? Is Shaun of the Red going to beat Juice Campbell and the army of Dankness?
We'll do our last comic and then we'll have a wee. We'll do our
we'll think of that over the last comic, which is Nimona.
You lent me this.
I did. I loaned you this.
You just brought this to my house once, and without even much of a fanfare with regards to. You were just like, yeah, you can borrow this, and
read this.
And I'm glad you did. One of the things I wanted to point out before is my main. So I'm just checking. As the main basis of my review is somebody asked us. We've been asked at least once. Like, what would you suggest somebody that's kind of new to comics or somebody that doesn't want to get bogged down and stuff would read? Yeah. And I think Nimona is kind of perfect for. In my opinion, it's kind of perfect. It's very accessible. It's very funny, and from my understanding and research for this episode, I know that Noelle Stevenson, the writer, she started this quite early on in her career, and it's been progressive for a number of years. And I think one of the things I did read
won awards from the start.
Yeah,
for sure.
But I think the story develops in quite progressively, and it's from what I understand, that's quite reflective of her career as well. Like it progresses and gets more complex as her career and her. Did she do this when she was at uni? Did I read that right?
I think you're right. I think
so. Actually, as she gets probably more aware and more comfortable with her medium, she becomes more established.
Yeah.
It becomes much more complex a story. It's just it starts off quite slapsticky and a bit silly.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, you're engrossed in quite a deep and challenging morality tale.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
There is some great stuff in it. I love the. Obviously, for those that don't know it, it's a basic story of a villain, or he's
Have a
called.
look at some of the artwork here.
There's a villain. The artwork's interesting. Again, on my research, from what I understand, is she revisited the artwork for this book, and the artwork was much more rougher around the edges when it was initially released, and when Noelle went round to do got around to doing it as a trade paperback or a graphic novel, she revisited some of her earlier artwork to bring up to scratch with the rest of it, which I think I'm actually quite sad. I would like to have seen that, like almost like the original edit or whatever you would want to call it. Nimona is a young girl who has a shape-shifting ability, and she pairs up with this guy, Blackheart, he's called a villain.
Yeah. He's evil knight of the realm, kind of.
He's referred to as these things, but
but it doesn't appear that bad at all, really.
Nothing he does is particularly it's villainous as a kind of like a.
It's more
passive
like,
villainous.
Yeah, it's more like they have these two political parties that they're affiliated with, and neither is really good or really bad. They've got both. Even the what's the hero guy? Golden Lion. He does things that are good, but equally you could think he's a bit of an idiot. He's a bit rubbish. So it's hard to balance who's the bad guy and who's the good guy.
I enjoyed it. I enjoyed that element of it. As I say, like Blackheart was cast as a villain, but then he gets challenged by a lot in Nimona's behaviour as the story progresses. Yeah. Considering he's supposed to be a villain,
and he becomes a bit of a father figure to her, to a mentor to her.
And I just really enjoyed it.
It brings out a different kind of character in him. It is that sort of fantasy, medieval-y kind of setting, the dragons and things like that.
But there's like a high tech ability to it as well. Like he gets a robotic armor and stuff. Yeah. I just thought it was really super clever. There was a whole. I don't know if it was quite subtle, and it probably, when things are subtle, it takes me a wee bit longer to clock on than possibly somebody that's looking for it would be. But I did notice that Blackheart and Silverline start to get more Goldenline start to get more shocked by the tonal shift of what's going on. Almost like they're quite happy within their almost pantomime-esque rivalry. That's right. That exists.
But then the world starts to change, and their views are challenged.
But I think that's the reader. Certainly, I was challenged at the same time, and I felt like it was almost like when I read it, I was like, oh, you're seeing this world through Nimona's eyes because she's new to it and she's trying to. But actually, by the end of it, you're seeing the world through Blackheart and Goldenline, and they're like, oh my god, look at the world that we're in. This is insane. This is getting nuts. Some of Goldenline's dialogue is amazing. At one point, he shouts at somebody on "Hand that science," which I thought was hilarious, and actually laughed out loud reading it. I was like, and Jen tried to explain the joke to my wife, who was like, "Yeah, I'm not going to read that, and you don't need to explain the joke." But I was like, oh, it's on "Hand that science." It's just so silly as a con, because it mixes that medieval high tech issue. I just thought it was really good.
It's kind of teens and up.
Yeah, teens and up
readers.
I would quite like to say I've got an 11-year-old though, and I think he would enjoy that, and it would lead to quite interesting debate. I'm actually going to go as you lend it to me, but it's one of those things that I would borrow from a library or borrow from a friend and go, actually, I would like my own copy of this, and I've only ever done that with a couple of books. Like
well, actually, I funnily should finish that because the first time I read it was from the library, but I didn't got a copy.
I think I'll do the same. I just really enjoyed it. You should totally check it out. I don't want to go too much into it, but it's great. As I say, it's won loads of awards.
And she's had a stellar career.
Yeah, she's
since
gone on
then.
to do some really
Lumberjanes is massively popular, and that's now been handed over to different writers now.
That's something I want to check out as a result of that.
Massively popular, and she was a producer at Disney. I think she still is. She's the producer on.
She's on Marvel.
The new She-Ra.
Is that right?
She-Ra cartoon.
The reboot
of that. So Noelle's in charge of that.
As I say, I think her work's getting translated into either an animated movie or some sort of.
Well, I can see that because being producer of animation and stuff, then It'd be a kind of natural move for it, and I think it would turn into quite a good animated.
Yeah.
The artwork style, I think, lends itself to that.
It would make it quite an awesome Netflix series, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you liked it.
Yeah, no,
I thought it was awesome as well.
It was tremendous.
I didn't think it would be anything I would like because I'm not really into fantasy and stuff like that. And but
As
I
it
was
continues,
totally
you're
intrigued.
like, oh, yeah.
Totally intrigued, and that pulled me in. And I just kept reading it.
I'm trying to think of what it reminds me of, but it's silliness at the start is almost misleading. It grabs you in, and you're expecting something quite silly, and then but as it progresses, you're.
Turns into a bit of a sort of coming of age story
it does,
as well.
Does.
But character development is massive. I mean, on all points, Golden Lion, Blackheart, they changed an awful lot.
Mm-hmm.
Their world view is really challenged, and Nimona obviously
goes through a tremendous journey yourself.
Yeah.
Good. Thank you.
That's it.
Okay, well, we've just got enough time, I think, to revisit some of these beers and work out what we've decided to be our beer of the week.
Right, so that last one is Shaun of the Red from Arbor Ales, and we have always liked the Arbors that we've tried.
It's different to the other Arbors
I
tried. The other Arbors have been much more kind of complex.
I think they've had a more interesting flavour, so I think it's a bit too plain for an Arbor. I would not, if I'd been tasting that, I would have thought.
I enjoyed it tremendously though. I want to revisit that. You suggested doing like a darker ale kind of, or like a red ale special or something like.
Maybe that's what
revisit. Go for, We've revisited beers before because we thought actually this has been poorly reviewed within this gimmick. So I don't think it's our beer of the week, but it might be later on.
Yeah. Okay. ShinDigger's Mango Unchained. For me, it didn't quite live up to its name.
I was expecting more from it.
A mango, bursting with mango, but...
Again, that could be... There's a number of things there that could be that it was later than the other two. It could also... it came third after two kind of punchy, flavoursome beers. But again, I want to revisit ShinDigger stuff. There's loads of ShinDigger stuff in the shop.
There is. We definitely need to have a look at that. So then we had Gipsy Hill's Amity.
It was good. Really good actually. And personally,
pleasant, citrusy, fruity beer. Could happily drink that.
If we're going to revisit beers for a beer of the week, I think that's one of the two that I've enjoyed the most. I would put that here in a revisit side.
Revisit, right, okay. And then we had our Juice Campbell and the Army of Dankness. Let's get it right.
Dankness. It was really juicy. It was really juicy.
It was flavoursome. Yeah, packed a punch. We don't usually vote number one beers. We think.
Yeah, we're going to revisit these two. Is that?
Yeah, let's revisit. Let's revisit. I'm in that place. Yeah.
Okay.
Right, what are we going to go for first?
We'll do Gipsy Hill first
because perhaps doesn't have the punchy, knock you out flavour. We don't want to be.
I love that. I've grown to love the smell of an IPA, and that's something my wife thinks I'm quite weird about. I'll open an IPA and I'll just be like, oh, yeah, boy.
Yeah, and it's very pleasant smelling. Just watch us drink this. Just imagine what this like.
I've said this before many times, but I have to remove about 5 minutes of every audio podcast we do because it's just silence and glugging noises and us making like I really like that.
I'm liking it as an IPA. Yeah,
it's definitely up there with IPAs that we've tried before.
One. Yeah, it's a good one for sure.
It's quite subtle. It doesn't. I think it's not overly alcoholic in taste.
Yeah, not terribly bitter. There's no lasting bitterness.
There's a punchy fruit in there.
I think so. I think it's slightly peachy.
Yeah, it's nice.
Kind of flavour in there. Okay, do like that. Do like Gipsy Hill's Amity. And I'm loving the design as well. The fisherman there on the front. It's good. Right, so let's try the other New England IPA which is our Juice Campbell from who's this? Brew York.
Yeah, Brew York. The first 3 of these beers were our first time brewers as well. We've revisited quite a lot of brewers.
Yeah.
But that's been good. It's been nice to venture off our kind of beaten track and
immediately
straight away. Yeah, it's really
the
berry.
aroma is really, really strong compared to the previous.
And then revisit what's in the. It's just really juicy.
Oh yeah, there's a really interesting kind of wee change in flavour as you drink it.
It's like juicy berry, then bitter. It just kind of goes bang, bang, bang.
Yeah. As it passes over the tongue and starts to go down, there's a real change in that flavour.
Yeah.
You're getting that juiciness, getting the sort of fruit flavours, and then a wee bitterness just towards the end.
Your pickle. This is the thing about like competing against beers. We picked a very random.
Yeah, it
gimmicks.
wasn't like we're going to compare
New England IPAs or anything. We just went right.
Just,
let's pick the ones that have got beery labels.
Yeah,
it's not filmy labels. Sorry.
Yeah, totally. That's for me, it's between Juice Campbell and the Amity. You can see the movie
they're
influences
different
there.
drinking experiences.
They are.
I want to say I prefer Gipsy Hill, but that's an awesome beer. It's a bit too alcoholic for me. That alcoholic taste comes through.
It does,
a bit
and
more.
it lingers afterwards, I think.
But I would quite happily.
I am swaying towards the Gipsy Hill.
Yeah, I
to
think I am
what you
too.
think, yeah.
I would quite happily buy 2 cans of that though for my evening, and just that be.
And that'll be it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would love that.
Yeah.
And again, I would do the same. Yeah, I think I'm leaning towards Gipsy Hill.
I think so too.
Yeah. But that's
Let's finish that one off.
I've really enjoyed all 4 beers this week though. Some more than others. I would like to revisit Shaun of the Red because it's a completely different kind of beer to the other 3. I'd also like to check out what else ShinDigger do.
No, that sealed it for me. That last wee taste of Amity. That's definitely mine.
Yeah, it's just nice. It's light. It's crisp.
It's very pleasant. Just goes down nicely. Not massively bitter. A nice wee fruitiness, citrusy, peachy taste there.
There's a thickness to that I really like.
Yeah, I know, it's got a kind of little body.
Yeah, it comes with it. Yeah, okay. Well done, Amity, New England IPA from Gipsy Hill Brewing.
Jaws grabs it this week.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And drags the guy down under the water. Is Jaws not like a 12? What's the rating on Jaws? I think it's quite a gory movie.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the scariest movies, or the only sort of horror movie I saw at that time. When it'd be out about sort of 77 or something, at the same time Star Wars around there. Yeah. So I was just a youngster, and I probably shouldn't have seen Jaws, but I think I somehow did, and maybe that's why it stuck with me for so long.
I read the book. Did you ever read the book, Jaws?
I think I did, yes.
If I remember correctly, is it not like the whole film?
Massive tome as far as I can remember.
So I remember it being quite a small book, but the bulk of it happened on land. Like it's only like the last maybe 10 to 20 pages that are on the boat, which is.
It was such a long time ago.
I need to revisit that. I might have just talked absolute nonsense, but I do remember reading it when I was in high school and being like. And now we've tried the beer that's themed after Jaws, and it's amazing.
So anyway, folks, there we go. Amity, New England IPA from Gipsy Hill, new brewers for us. This is our beer of the week.
Absolutely.
And definitely want to try their stuff again. But let's face it, I want to try Brew York's other stuff too, and ShinDigger. So we've got our work cut out for us to try all of this stuff.
Yeah, we moved to double digits next week, and we haven't got a gimmick yet.
Oh yeah, we'll be on week 10.
Week 10.
My God, week 10, we're still here.
We've been suggested a gimmick for next week, but I think it would kill us.
Oh.
They said Colin wanted us to do 10%
not
or
my
more.
Colin.
No,
Colin from the Caledonian Craft Beer Merchant.
I don't know if you can manage, man. I'm really sorry.
No. I think when we're on holiday.
Yeah.
When we're on holiday, we'll do the 10% plus challenge.
But yeah, until next week, obviously you'll find out what our gimmick is next week before then. But thank you again, and cheers.
Cheers.